Sweet.
Yep. I'm just doing that now here. Got it.
Got it all figured out. All right. You don't even need me. I'm going to go get some coffee.
Ah, still have you here. All right.
I'm going to pull up on my side because I think last time when I was watching, you guys were live, or Alex and Kevin were live. There was a lot of comments on LinkedIn. Actually, we're getting like a ton of engagement. Yeah, and I just got the alert that we're live. So I'm going to try to do my best to man the LinkedIn comments as well this time.
Okay.
And
Perfect.
answer those questions and things like that. So
It seems like we have a few people joining us here, so we're gonna get kicked off in a few moments. But in the meantime, if you guys can just drop in the chat where you're kind of logging in from and what you're with.
yeah, where are you coming from? Who are you?
Yep.
The whole thing. Yeah, see, I can, okay. Yeah, so we'll get some people joining on the live stream on LinkedIn as well. Perfect. You guys are here already. We're still early. We're about a minute early still. So give it a little bit of time. But yeah, how's your week going, Stephen? I know we've been filled with calls and projects and stuff like that. So
Good. Have quite a few projects that are pretty interesting. So I'm looking forward to kind of hearing some of the projects that are going on here. That way we can see if we can tie some things in with some things that are happening right away.
yeah, you and I were on a couple calls this week together, continually hearing the ESG and energy monitoring projects. Those continue to come up over and over again. Like I know we were on a call with some consulting companies and companies that are looking to do automated reporting on energy monitoring and other things. Hey, Jeff, I see you commented there, Windsor, Ontario.
Ooh.
Cold. Well, maybe not right now, but usually cold.
Yes.
Yeah, I spent some time up there. I don't know if people know this or not, but I played hockey in a prior life before doing this. And yeah, that area in Ontario is a hot spot. There's like in the UP of Michigan, there's some junior hockey, Ontario Hockey League up there. There's a couple teams, but so not sure if you're a hockey fan, Jeff. I always assume whenever I'm on calls and people are like, hey, I'm from Canada, for whatever reason, I'm like, oh, this is probably a fellow hockey guy, most likely.
I spent some time up there in the UP, and I always refer to it as South Canada. So
South Canada, yeah.
especially they have I got mixed up and I accidentally booked a hotel in Sault Ste. Marie, Canada, and not in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan at one point.
Yeah. I think that's happened before. There was like a training camp I went to one point in hockey, and they were like very adamant about like you need to stay in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, not Canada. So because there's a river right there, right? And it's like there's a bridge, but it's over the border. Yeah, no, it's totally a thing. But the airport, if you fly into Sault Ste. Marie, I'm pretty sure the airport's in Canada. Pretty sure, if I remember correctly. But
and the bridge closes around 6 o'clock at night. So or the final going across.
Yes. So just really quick, because I'm seeing people join on the LinkedIn live stream as well. So throw comments in the live stream on LinkedIn if you're out there. Throw comments in the Zoom if you're here. Well, if you have questions, if you've got projects, yeah, really what we'd love these webinars to kind of turn into is more Q&A and just digging into projects that you guys are working on and things you guys are doing. So feel free to throw in the chat as we go, questions, projects, and things like that. So we can kind of have more of a open dialogue. But yeah, we're right at 10:02 here. So maybe right when the clock ticks 10:03, we'll get started. So we just a minute or less here. And Stephen, I guess if you don't mind, maybe I'll kick us off just kind of briefly and with a quick intro, and then I'll throw it over to you and you can do your thing, and then we'll just kind of dialogue it back and forth. And yeah, enjoy the 30 minutes here.
Absolutely. So yeah, go ahead and kick it off there, Cam.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and get started. We've got a good chunk of people. It's like 5 or 6 people here, and then we've got a good chunk joining on the live stream on LinkedIn. So thanks everybody so much for joining. Really appreciate your time today. Looks like we've got some T-Mobile folks joining as well, which is great. So for those of you that don't know us, I'm Cameron, and then we've got Stephen as well. We are with the MyDevices team. And at MyDevices, I'm going to share my screen here to do my quick intro. Hold on, let me get off the live stream so you guys don't get confused. So here we go. I'll share my screen. And at MyDevices, what we do is we've aggregated to date over 1,100 different IoT sensors from a few hundred different manufacturers. And I like to show this page because it shows the breadth of what we've done, and to enhance this and provide value with this, because it's more than just a website with sensors. We actually warehouse and inventory these devices, and we pick, pack, provision, and ship. And that provision piece is very important. The problem that we're solving for is businesses who are looking to integrate IoT into their business, enhance operational efficiencies, and or provide value downstream to their customers. And for businesses who have software platforms that they want to enrich with sensor data. So think about work ticketing systems, building management systems, energy management systems. We're all data hungry, and a lot of that is manual data today. So what we do is we bring sensors into that equation. So not only do we warehouse, inventory, and provision these, we also provide a single API that makes all of these sensors compatible with any app or platform without having to do individual integrations with every single sensor. So the way that we do that is through our suite of software tools combined with our services that we provide, and then obviously logistics services to provide the hardware. And then we'll show some views of the dashboard and some of the ways that you can visualize data in here through templated dashboards and all of that. But yeah, that's the quick intro. Steven, I'll kick it over to you to kind of run through your piece, and I'll man the chat, and yeah, we'll just kind of keep it open dialogue. But yeah, let me stop sharing my screen. So yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely. And I think kind of one of the more important things here that Cam was talking about is really our four-pronged approach towards IoT, where we're bringing to you the hardware, the software, the connectivity, and the pro support and the backend support when it comes to that. So with those, we're kind of going in here. We really bring a whole bunch of support to that. Now, let me go ahead here and share my screen so we can kind of pull this up for everyone. All right. And if I can just get confirmation that my screen can be seen by everybody. Awesome.
Yep, I've got your screen.
Awesome. So yeah, I'll really just kind of give a little high-level overview on MyDevices, what we do, and kind of where we're going from here. Kind of kick us off here. A little bit of background on the company. MyDevices was founded back in 2013, and really we kind of launched this platform and everything that we're doing right now with IoT back in 2015. We've really kind of gone through those trials and tribulations to be able to bring to you the most amount of support and most amount of professional services when it comes to any of your IoT projects, or really just kind of being your backbone there when it comes to being able to supply your clients with IoT solutions, with different sensors and different points of measuring data for their projects and for different data points, whether it be temperature, humidity, even going into some electric submetering. We really have a wide range of different items there. Cam showed the store initially right away. So within our store, we have 1,100 different sensors from about 250 different manufacturers. And within that, we can really kind of go in there and solve a lot of solutions for different projects that you have. And if there's not something that really we have within our wheelhouse, we do have the ability to get with some of our manufacturers to really find a solution that's going to work best for you and for your project. We do that with our team of solution engineers and our sensor engineers, along with our own personal recommendations with those. So as far as what we do in the nuts and bolts of MyDevices, we took all the things that came with IoT, all the confusions of working with different manufacturers, getting in different software platforms, and really we took that and we unblocked IoT. We made it very easy for a plug and play solution that really takes a lot of the guesswork out of bringing these sensors to your clients or even to your own specific projects. We provide you with the white label application, both on web and mobile apps. We provide with the backend console to be able to manage all those different sensors and your different clients that are out there. We also provide the professional services, the support and training, and as Cam said, the logistical side of it, and any integration. So we can take the data that we're pulling in from these sensors and really be able to put that into any type of end platform, whether it's a building management, whether it's customer management, or even some native IoT platforms like from Power BI to be able to pull that data in for reporting that's easy to use for you and for your clients to make sure that we're really kind of maximizing what can be done in the IoT sphere. But with that, we have enabled this to be able to be very fast go to market. Once again, we pick, pack, and ship from our warehouse in California. That way, you're getting your products in a timely fashion, along with very limited lead times as well.
So I'm going to pause just real quick, Stephen, because this is all great. And I think I want to kind of dig into some of this, especially for some of the folks that are newer to who we are. And I do see some comments on the LinkedIn Live side. So welcome, Nicholas at Telesense. He said he got a random notification from LinkedIn, brought him here. Welcome to the show, and glad you get introduced to MyDevices today. It's a good way to get introduced. Also asked about white labeling. So obviously, what Stephen just showed, yeah, we can do white labeling and all of that. I put in a link in the LinkedIn, mydevices.com/Stephen. So if you want to schedule a call to go deeper, feel free to grab that link, but we'll try to answer as many of your questions live as we can here today. But backing up to some things you said, Stephen, that are really interesting. Using sensor data and feeding into other software systems and other apps to enrich and enhance those solutions. I want to focus on that just for a couple of minutes because it's something really important there, because we've seen all kinds of projects that we deploy where the data comes into our system. We're able to ship the hardware out, and you can open up the mobile app and see data, and you could say, yes, that sensor does what I need it to do. It monitors the voltage, it monitors the HVAC filter levels, it does the temperature. We can get you there really quickly, but usually in most deployments, that's the first stop of the data, is what I usually say. And then it goes somewhere else. And that's because every vertical solution has some kind of maybe specific use case or specific visualization that it needs to go to that you're never going to get with kind of a horizontal IoT platform. So if it's for ESG, the reports that are needed to create are very specific for ESG. It needs to have certain things and be formatted in a certain way. So we've got a one-click integration into Power BI. So scan in 15, 30 different sensors, open up an integration into Power BI. Now, all of a sudden, you've got Power BI open with sensor data from 30 different types of sensors. And now you can create that custom report. SVT Robotics, anybody that's following our LinkedIn posts and everything, I always shout out SVT Robotics because we're kind of back and forth on social. It's a great partnership, one of my favorite ones, because there's that interaction, but it's kind of a flashy integration that we've created. I mean, they're showing videos on their LinkedIn of a push button from our software, feeding into their application that goes through a workflow and then calls a robotic forklift, a self-driving forklift that shows up where that push button is. So you think about the practicality of that, but I always think about, if a company like SVT Robotics wanted to bring in IoT sensors on their own without MyDevices, they would be all of these siloed single point integrations with every new sensor. They'd say, well, we want a push button. They'd go find it and integrate with it. And then they'd say, okay, well, we want an air quality sensor, find it, integrate with it. We want an asset tracker, find it, integrate with it. Whereas, with us, we've got a single API and we're integrated in. And now they're just like push button, asset tracker, air quality, temperature. They're moving so much faster because they've got that single API that enhances their app already. So it's a big point there to make, is that we kind of become that middleware, so to speak, to enhance other apps, and those are some scenarios of that. So anyways, interrupted you, kind of keep going, or if there's any thoughts or comment feedback you have on that portion, feel free to chime in. But keep going.
Absolutely. And that was a great point of kind of bringing in the fact that you can take multiple different solutions and really kind of customize those for the end user and for the end client. Even as far as working with one client, you may have someone working within facilities that mainly manages the water levels, make sure that there's no detection, occupancy dashboards, make sure that things are getting cleaned. But also on top of that, when it comes into like building management, building maintenance, you can still have the same types of application, new login for the people that work within the building management system, and they will be able to see like a Modbus or be able to see any other types of sensors or data that's pertinent to that portion of the business. So we're really not just pigeonholed into one area within a company, but really you can expand that out to multiple areas within the company, multiple teams, and be able to provide a lot of different solutions for those different areas within even one building, one business.
Yeah,
So,
it's interesting. You mentioned Modbus, and some people may know. I feel like the more and more we talk about, the more people actually do understand what that is and how it works and why it's so important today with Industry 4.0, but also with HVAC equipment and all kinds of things. I mean, we're seeing so much work being done by just taking existing like RS-45 ports that are sitting on these machines, plugging in a LoRa Modbus bridge, and then just sucking all of that data out. You know, we walk into projects sometimes that are 3-6 months old, where you've got these engineers kind of piecing apart, trying to figure out ways to pull this data out. And we're able to just come in and stick a Modbus bridge, connect to a LoRa gateway, all on a single dashboard. And then you've got other sensors too. But yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because it definitely is the variants and types of solutions that we can provide. We can kind of hit all these different niches. And there are some hot sensors in every industry, like Modbus for facilities, but the Vitility Hot Drop, really hot sensor right now because of ESG for energy monitoring. But the interesting thing about the Hot Drop for me, and for the Modbus, actually for both of these, is some of the tools that we provide go above and beyond just visualization. We've got our backend console, and I know I'm going out of order here. Sorry, Stephen, but we do have the backend console that we've developed. I think is undersold a little bit and underappreciated until you get in there and start using it, because some of the capabilities of that, for the Vitility Hot Drop, for example, that device kind of out of the box just sends a current reading. But we've used our backend console where we have payload decoders, and we have device templates, and we have device downlink configuration to create these scenarios where you can use a hot drop to monitor runtime on equipment, because we can put in some user input that tells us when the machine's running, when it's not, based on that current. And now we can display runtime and idle time, right? So now you can actually have a solution where you're not just measuring current for current's sake, you're actually enriching that data through the device template and displaying things that are valuable to the end user. But also, going back to the comment before, the API integrations, you're not integrating from our API. We're not sending just raw sensor data. It's coming into our platform. We're using device templates and configurations, and we're enriching it and making it runtime, and we're making it anomaly detection, and we're making it energy consumption in kilowatt hours, right? We're turning raw data into something valuable and then feeding it out of the API. So then when you receive it on the other end of that in your platform, you're getting this one sensor that you think does this one thing can now do these 10, 12, 15 different things. And you're getting that data through the API without having to do custom programming over here, or add all these microservices and decoding services to kind of parse all of that. So that's on the software side. There's so much power in those types of tools. But store and logistics, another huge piece. It's very overlooked in IoT when you try to get into a sensor business. What people don't think about until you'll get to your POC where you've got 3 or 4 sensors, and then if your customer's like, okay, we're ready for 100 and we're ready for 1,000, I think there's this like stomach drop moment where you're like, am I in the hardware business now? And do I have, like, where am I going to warehouse? Where am I going to kit this stuff? And that's where we come in on that portion too. So yeah, I'll let you kind of run through this, but yeah, a very important part. So
absolutely. And actually, we're getting kind of my 2 favorite slides. It really kind of goes into the backbone of what we do. And then as far as, the simplicity, as far as the logistical side, and also deployment wise for yourselves and for your clients, really kind of going in here. Once again, we do all the storing logistics here. We're kind of like your background when it comes to IoT. I know you said quite a few different times, but really it's pretty impactful in what we do. So, we house, store, we kit, we ship everything right here from our warehouse in Hollywood. But additionally, we also deliver a white label application for you. Now, how these two come together is actually very slick, very simple to use. Your white label application, really, you can do all your remote monitoring from there. You would have your logins for your clients. You would be able to set all your rules and alerts. And how does that look? And how does this all kind of deploy and come together? It's actually very simple and very user friendly. So we have here our store of 1,100 plus devices. And each one of these, if you've seen our videos on YouTube, you kind of have a little bit of a background on this, but all these items already have a QR code on the back of those. So when you receive a new device, or when you have a new client that's coming on and you need to get these devices provisioned, get them loaded into the application for them, all you have to do is scan that QR code right into the mobile application, or through the web application, put in the device ID. And within moments, all of that data ends up starting to be fed into your dashboard. Your dashboard would be white labeled for your company, would have your logo, your color, your brand. Otherwise, you can use our IoT, like our kind of white labeled one. And then you would be able to start seeing all of that data within a few moments here. So just kind of pulling up here in this, you'll be able to see everything right on a map. Very easy to use map as far as where all your different sensors are located, all the different dashboards, and then also, which client those are related to. From there, you can actually just one click into here, and you'll be able to see the information that you have that's pertinent to that location. So on this one here, within the boiler room, they have some predictive maintenance. This right here would be one of our Modbus items. You can see a picture of the sensor there, and you can actually upload the photo so you can see which sensor on which device you're actually working with. You'll be able to see all the pertinent data right here. Now, this one right here would monitor any type of vibration that's happening and let you know when those danger zones are happening. Typically, when the vibrations start going up, you end up having some sort of routine maintenance or some sort of maintenance that needs to happen with the device. Additionally, in here, you can change the alert settings to let you know where the different thresholds are. You would be able to manage all of your notifications and your corrective actions right from here as well, along with the device settings, and be able to see a history of the different data points in there.
So I'm going to cut you off.
Go ahead.
I was going to say one more time, but that would be a lie because I'll probably just keep doing it. So because I can't help myself, but this is really important stuff. And I like to geek out over this portions of it. So really, so great. Yeah. Walkthrough on all of that. So 1,000 sensors, I mix and match them, scan them in with the app, pause there. If it's 1,000 sensors, 10,000 sensors, 100,000 sensors, you don't scan in 100,000. People ask me this all the time. Well, what if I have 10,000 sensors? I have to scan in 10,000 sensors? No. CSV import. We do have bulk and like batch provisioning available. No problem. But for the concept of like a demo, just to kind of get the concept, like, yeah, we just scan them in and they turn on, but you can do that through batch import as well. But I also want to mention that everything that you guys just saw on that walkthrough that Steven did is available through the REST API as well. So just like any kind of modern software, anything that you could do through the user interface, you can do through the backend through REST API. So pulling historical data, adding users, setting user permissions, corrective action. These are all just kind of micro tools that are important for almost every IoT deployment. You need to set alert thresholds. You need reports. You need user management. You need historical data. So we provide the interface that's easy to use, and you scan the devices in straight away, and you can send 15 sensors off to your dad or your grandpa or whoever, and they would be able to scan them in and see stuff. Might not know what they're seeing, but they can get it working, right? And that's the point. Or you can, on a more technical side, if you have your own app, if you have your own platform, if you've got your own product that your customers are using today, and you see sensors as a way to enhance that app, we can connect up via API, and all of those, you can scan in devices in your app, but it will make a call to our service to provision it. Or you can just plug in the ID. So anyways, everything on the front end is also available on the back end. So we see kind of a 50-50 swing between some of our partners that are like, nope, this app is perfect. This is what I'm going to market with. Others that say, hey, we're going to use this app as an installation app. So I can just scan them in quickly, validate that the network's working, that the data is getting there, and just see general reports, but we're going to integrate outbound for the final product that the end user will use. And the product that the end user uses, it varies all the time. I mean, the end user experience might just be, hey, I got a work ticket telling me to go check on the machine. They don't know that there's this whole IoT system operating in the background that's creating that work ticket. I'm a field technician. I just follow my tasks for the day. So let's create those tasks automatically. It could be inspection checklists that are being filled in automatically. Like, hey guys, don't check the HVACs every day and write down fan speed and flow rate and filter levels, because the sensor is going to populate those for you anyway. So anyways, yeah, just wanted to, I always like to point that out, that it's very feature rich. And we've worked on this for a very long time and kind of fine tuned and found all the requirements needed. So the platform is great as is, but there are always questions about, can I use my own platform? I have my own app, and yeah, no problem. You might never use this. You might just use it for basic visualization, but the integrations help enhance third-party apps and platforms as well. So yeah.
Exactly. And then also inside of here, you know, a lot of the dashboards are customizable as well. So within these guys here, you can just go ahead and grab your own dashboard that you would need and be able to just pull over here and be able to get the device data information that is pertinent to you very quickly and very easily onto its own dashboard. So another thing there that I like to highlight is just kind of the customization of that. Really, you can kind of make it a little more yours and not really have to use the dashboard that comes kind of pre-installed. So with that going forward, just kind of a quick sub here. Kim, did you see any questions come through? Anything like pertinent right now?
Let's see. I mean, I was going through, I'm answering questions on the fly in the chat on LinkedIn, actually, is where I'm seeing a lot of stuff here. So Adam Bork, I just commented back. Yeah, no problem. If you want to schedule a call, mydevices.com/Steven. If you want to schedule a call to learn more. But yeah, I don't see questions as much as just kind of praise, thanks, and it sounds like people are enjoying the info and that it's helpful. So and no questions in the Zoom chat. So guys, yeah, right now, if you guys are watching on LinkedIn Live or on Zoom, I am got like 2 heads right now. I'm trying to keep an eye on everything and answer questions. So fill them in there. Let us know what you got. I do have sort of a list of frequently asked questions that we get on most calls. I know in the last couple of Zoom sessions, I do kind of feel like we get calls as follow-ups and then there's questions. So I know sometimes in this environment, it's hard to ask questions because you feel like you're spotlight on a stage or something like that. So, but in general, I'm trying to address questions that we get normally, like can the data integrate, if cost information, pricing and all of that. I would say let's schedule a call and let's talk rather than just, announcing it in this fashion. I'd prefer we just talk about your project and everything, get on a call. So if you're interested in pricing, mydevices.com/Steven, and we'll jump on a quick call and walk through different models. Yeah, I don't know, Steven, is there anything else that you had that you wanted to share today, or should we just open it up? I mean, we've got 5 minutes left. So
yeah, I still have a few more things, just kind of hit on like the different integrations as far as like our one-click integrations that we have. And then as far as like just kind of a little bit of, some client information, really just kind of talking here, bringing up the white label and mobile application. This is something that we do with our partner plans as far as white labeling the application. So it doesn't matter. You can see here, some of the larger companies are on there right now. T-Mobile, Henrik, Aramark has a white label application with us. But we work with essentially any client from system integrators of 1 to 5 employees, all the way up to companies like Sodexo, Aramark, and then T-Mobile, as you can see up there as well. So we do provide that with our clients. It doesn't matter if you're a Fortune 500 company or if you're a system integrator or an MSP with just a few clients, few employees. We provide the same white label service for you as well.
Yeah, it's a good point. And I would say there's just varying use cases, right? Just depending on, a lot of times with our system integration partners that are smaller, like the 1 to 5 employees, there's some project inbound, like a client is looking for something, a problem to solve. And you've kind of got 2 paths to solve that problem. You go down the path of Google searching and finding sensors and ordering them from the manufacturers, and then getting this user guide, programming guide, and trying to figure out how to use that sensor, and then stand up a LoRa network server, get a gateway and the whole thing. And then you get the data and you realize, it doesn't really meet the requirements. Okay, let's try again. Or, we can get you up and running in seconds, and we can, hey, let's try these 20 sensors, and you can get them on, today, and then validate everything and then feed data in. So question from Charles, can I pull data into building automation like Niagara or a backnet system? So yes, and I would say, I'm going to put in the chat docs. Sorry, I'm not good at multitasking like this. Docs.mydevices.com, where I'd recommend you go to take a look at our API documentation. It's REST API, got MQTT APIs, webhooks. And then on this page, yeah, thanks, Stephen. We've got pre-built integrations into like Azure IoT Hub or S3. I know folks are using integrations into Niagara today. It's not on our predefined list of integrations, but I think either through webhooks or some other one of our more custom MQTT, one of our more custom integrations, we do have partners getting data into Niagara. For backnet systems, I mean, yeah, as long as there's an endpoint where we can feed the data to, we can get the data in there. If it's one of those things where it's an on-prem server and there's no internet connection, that's where it gets a little bit probably not. So on the other side of things, and in those docs pages as well, we can also ingest data. So there's sources and there's destinations, right? And then there's our app. So we can also receive data from PLC systems or backnet systems. And that's, we're talking about Modbus and other protocols. So we can go both directions in terms of ingesting the data, visualizing it on our dashboard, and then feeding it out through the API, or even just taking the wireless sensors and feeding that into a traditional building management system. And to elaborate on that just once further, I do see a lot of this today. If there is a traditional building management system in place, there are typically remote areas where you can't run cables to. You've got to use a wireless sensor. So we're able to enhance that by giving you the wireless sensors. On the other side of the fence, there is, if there's no building management system in place, you're going to find that the cost of wireless sensors compared to a traditional BMS system is 10 times cheaper, obviously, because there's the installation and everything, the network and the servers and everything. Put a LoRa gateway in a building and you've got coverage. Now you can drop wireless sensors everywhere with 5 years of battery life. It's a no-brainer. So anyways, yeah, we play in that space a lot. We've got a lot of projects going on there. So again, mydevices.com/Steven to schedule a call to learn more about that. If you're interested, check out the docs page. I think that'll be helpful as well. We are 1 minute from time. So perfect. Steven, take it away on this is the onboarding. So if you guys want to become a partner, there's a license plan and everything. This is our 30-day onboarding phase, which gets you from zero to proof of concept to scaled deployment, as in short order. So yeah, take it away, Steven, on this slide.
I mean, you really kind of just hit that nail on the head. I wanted to show kind of what we do as far as the timeline goes and how quickly we can go to market with these solutions. So really, it's about a 4-week process from the point in time that we decide that we're going to be a partner. We schedule a kickoff call. We go through your goals. We make sure that everything's set up properly. From there, we'll get a proof of concept out to you. We'll get the devices in hand within a few weeks. And then that way we can kind of take that and we can take the information that we've been given. We can take the information that you will have, and we can really take that and optimize it and really have a quick turnaround for that. So once again, just kind of thought that this was important, but kicking in here, did want to bring this up here as well, just in case, mydevices.com/Steven. We can go there, kind of schedule some time. We can discuss projects. We can discuss kind of what that partnership looks like. And then really from there, be able to take that and be able to align and be able to get to the point where we're hitting your goals.
Yep. So we'll get on a call, talk about the projects that you have open, make some suggestions on sensors that would be useful for that. Talk about how to answer questions on how the APIs work to get the data where it needs to go, or if it's not integrating, we'll talk about the features of our app that'll allow you to meet the requirements of that project, and then ultimately get you signed up as a partner, and then go through that 30-day process where we do kickoff, 3 subsequent training calls, and we start to weekly calls after that to guide you through your IoT journey and get your projects up and running and scaled out quickly. And to bring it back to the first slide, it's all about unblocking IoT, right? There's so much potential in this industry, untapped potential because of complexity, and we're here to simplify that. So looking forward to speaking with hopefully all of you that were on today. Would love to get some calls scheduled and see what's going on out there in the world and how we can help. But Steven, great job today. Awesome presentation. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everybody.